All right, so everyone get ready, because today we are diving deep into a case that I know a lot of you have been asking about.
Yeah, this one is definitely...
It's a heavy one, but it's an important one.
Well, it is.
We're talking about the disappearance of Isabel Celis.
Yeah.
So we're going to really go through the timeline, the evidence, the whole thing.
Oh, twists and turns.
And kind of try to piece together, what happened in this case.
Yeah, and there's a lot to unpack here. Forensics, investigative hurdles, the impact on the community. This case had it all.
Yeah, and, it's one of those cases that just, grabs you. It's got that element of mystery, the unknown.
Right, and it really hits home, because it involves a child.
Exactly.
And, it happened in Tucson back in 2012, but the impact of this case, it's still felt today.
Absolutely. Before we get too far, just a quick reminder that we're basing this deep dive entirely on publicly available information, court documents, news reports, that sort of thing.
Right, we're not speculating, we're sticking to the facts.
Exactly. And we always encourage you, the listeners, to do your own research, form your own opinions.
Absolutely. The more informed we all are, the better.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Tucson, Arizona, 2012, 6-year-old Isabel Celis is last seen at bedtime by her father. The next morning, she's vanished.
Poof, gone.
An open window, a screen removed. It's every parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah, and those details right there, they immediately make you think abduction, right?
Right, like someone intentionally entered the home.
Exactly.
So at 8 a.m., Isabel's father, Sergio Celis, he makes that frantic 911 call, and then it just explodes.
Right, massive search effort.
Canine units, forensic specialists, volunteers. Everyone is looking for Isabel.
The whole community came together.
And it's just heartbreaking. You've got these posters everywhere with her picture, that sweet little face.
Right, and the not knowing, that's the hardest part.
Absolutely, and despite all those efforts, no solid leads, no witnesses, nothing.
It's like she vanished into thin air.
And then, to make matters even more complicated, blood is found in Isabel's bedroom.
Yeah, that discovery, it really threw a wrench into things.
Right, and the authorities, they decide to withhold those details about the blood evidence.
Which is pretty standard procedure in these kinds of cases.
Right, to protect the investigation, avoid tipping off any potential suspects.
Exactly, but of course that lack of information just fuels the rumor mill, right?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine the speculation, the anxiety, especially within the community.
People want answers, and when they don't have them, they start filling in the blanks themselves.
Exactly. And then the years go by. 5 years of agonizing silence.
It's unimaginable, the toll that takes on a family.
The Celis family, the community, everyone's hoping for a break in the case, for some kind of news, anything.
But the leads run dry, the tips stop coming in, the case goes cold.
But then, in 2017, there's a major development. Human remains are found in a remote area of Pima County.
And the DNA testing confirms it. It's Isabel.
Right. After 5 long years, the mystery of her disappearance is finally solved.
But a new mystery begins, right?
Exactly. Who is responsible for her death?
And how did this happen?
And that's when Christopher Clements enters the picture.
Right. This guy, he was already on law enforcement's radar for other crimes.
He gets arrested in 2018, and here's the bombshell. He's charged not only with Isabel's murder,
but also with the murder of another Tucson girl, Maribel Gonzalez.
a 13-year-old who disappeared in 2014.
So now you have this potential serial killer, a pattern of criminal behavior.
And it was Clements, think about this, who led authorities to Isabel's remains.
Chilling.
Absolutely. It's like he wanted to be caught, like he wanted the notoriety.
It's a complex psychological thing with these kinds of offenders.
And so the trial begins in 2023, years after Isabel's disappearance.
The community is watching, waiting for justice to be served.
And after a long and complicated trial, Clements is convicted of kidnapping and murdering Isabel.
Guilty on all counts.
But even with that verdict, some questions still linger, right?
Oh, absolutely. We still don't know the exact details of what happened to Isabel.
Like, how was she taken from her room that night?
What were the specific circumstances of her death?
Those are questions that may never be answered.
And that's tough, for the family, for the community to not have those answers.
Because like a piece of the puzzle is still missing.
Yeah, and it's a reminder that even with a conviction, there's not always complete closure.
But even though the trial is over, the impact of this case, it continues to resonate, right?
Absolutely. This case really shook Tucson to its core.
It sparked conversations about child safety, about the importance of community vigilance.
People started looking at their own neighborhoods differently, wondering if it could happen here.
Right. And it also highlighted the challenges that law enforcement faces in these kinds of cases.
The importance of forensic evidence, the need for public cooperation, it all came to the forefront.
Now, I think it's important to remember, even though this case had a tragic ending, there were moments of incredible resilience and hope.
Yeah, the Celis family, they never gave up hope that Isabel would be found.
And the community, they rallied around the family. They supported each other through those dark times.
That's the power of community, right? Even in the face of tragedy, people come together.
Exactly. And I think that's an important message to take away from all of this, that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
And there's always strength in unity.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
The Isabel Celis case, it's a stark reminder of the fragility of life, the importance of cherishing every moment, and the need to be vigilant in protecting our children.
Absolutely.
And it's a reminder that justice, sometimes it's elusive, but that doesn't mean we stop seeking it.
We owe it to the victims, to their families, to ourselves, to never give up on the pursuit of truth and justice.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a tough one, but an important one.
Absolutely.
And to all our listeners out there, stay safe, stay informed, and as always, keep those critical thinking caps on.
Until next time.